What do you think? Who will solve our problems? Will the government come every time to solve our problems? Recently, Professor Anil Gupta was in Bikaner, my hometown. He was there to discuss the problems and their solutions with the common citizens of Bikaner city. One citizen asked Professor Gupta, "There are so many problems. We wish to impart the best education to the students. What do we do? We don't find any solution." Professor Anil Gupta replied, "You start the solution. Why don't you start a small camp, 10-day camp, 15-day camp, 1-month camp, and introduce the best education possibilities to the students? The solution is in your hand." The problem with most of us is that we assume that there are two different entities, government and people. And we believe that government is different from us, we are different from government. And government is there to do all the work that is required for us. The duality between common people and government has started because of various reasons. The most important reason being that for 200 years India has been subjugated, and therefore we assume that we are different from governments. As citizens, we delimit our rights, our powers, our freedom, and our initiatives. The government is not different from us. The government is only a bunch of people whom we have selected, who have been appointed, who have been given this responsibility. They have taken the responsibility, but our responsibility has not reduced. If we will wait for the government, nothing will happen. The best solution, therefore, is that we should realize that government is also a part of our own setup. Government is doing, let them do, but they cannot do everything, and therefore we should come forward and take up initiative. No problem can be solved if we look at the country as a whole, because it's a huge country. Nobody can solve the problems of such a huge country. But if you reduce the problem to a small district, or to a small village, or to a small, very small cluster of houses which we call as mohalla, the problem is solvable. You can solve the problem. You cannot solve the problem when you are talking about 120 crore people. But when you are talking about a small bunch of students who are residing near your home, you can try to solve the problem. So why don't you start and solve the problem? If all of us start solving the problems like this, there will be no problems at all. Which problems do you really consider the most important problems? Different people think about different issues. Some people are busy about talking about issues like Indo-Pak tension, India-China tension, things like that. I consider that a happy and positive life for every human being is the first requirement. And all those things which are creating hurdles in that are problems. And therefore, in my opinion, a suitable employment opportunity should be there for everybody. It could be self-employment, it could be employment with somebody else. In my opinion, providing right education, career guidance, right ideas, opportunities to excel, opportunities to differentiate between right and wrong, opportunities to take right judgment, all these are also very important issues, because all these will collectively help each of us to achieve happiness and positive thinking, because these two things are very important in my perspective. I therefore believe that if all of us can start taking up small initiatives wherever we live to eradicate poverty, to eradicate problems that we are facing, these problems are very small problems. Those of you who are working in large companies, maybe at some metro station, can pay attention to my small request. Whenever you go to your hometown or your home village where you were brought up during your childhood, please try to spare some time for the children. Give them respect. Talk to them in their own language and discuss with them all the possibilities that they can have. Don't wait for them to come. You take the initiative, go to them, visit the school, the old school building where you studied during your early childhood. Visit the neighborhood, that neighborhood where you spent your early childhood while playing. Of course, you may not find your old teacher, you may not find your old friends, but you start sparing your time. Whosoever meets, talk to them, take up the initiative, and just discuss, listen to them, clarify their doubts, and help them. Start taking very small initiative that you can take. The smallest initiative. If you think, okay, this is the minimum initiative I can take, you take up that. The people in villages can completely transform their life with very, very small investments. Because these people just need bare minimum support. I'm not asking you to support Vijay Mallya. Supporting a person like Vijay Mallya will require 9,000 crore. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the supporting the minimum, the bare minimum things that you can offer to the person so that he can become a self-employed person. He can become a venturesome person and he is able to transform his life. You might be having some old books lying in your home. If you can donate it to some village library, or if you can motivate somebody in your village to start a village library, it would be great. You might be having some old electronic gadgets like old laptops, old computers, old CPUs, which may not be functional now for you, but they are functional for the villagers who will be able to learn from them. Maybe they are able to learn computers from them. You can help the villagers in understanding the purpose of life, how they should achieve purpose of life. And if you will spare some time with the villagers, probably you will also understand the purpose of life better. This will create a good synchrony. The problem in our time is that people get cut off when they leave villages. They get cut off when they leave cities. They go to metros. When they are child, everybody tries for their development, their education. Your teachers work hard, your neighbors work hard. Everybody wishes that you should progress, you should achieve prosperity. But once you achieve the progress, once you achieve the heights that you wanted to achieve, you forget to realize their small contribution and you don't spare any time for them. You don't go to villages, you don't spare time with them, you don't talk to them. For you, there are new destinations. If you get time, you wish to visit United States, Singapore, or other beautiful stations. You want to pass your time in holidays. Dear friends, the life has a purpose, and if you realize that you are pursuing a particular purpose, a significant purpose, where is the time for holiday? Enjoy your spare time with the villagers who have spared their time at their peak for helping you. Probably you can help them today. With your limited efforts, they can make tremendous progress and completely transform their lives. But I am also requesting you to understand their perspective. The God has somehow unequal system of distribution. It has distributed immense wealth to some people, and you may be one of them. So the God has given you tremendous amount of wealth. But while God has not been able to give lot of wealth to the villagers, It has gifted them excellent wisdom. The God has given you an excellent communication skill, very good voice, good language, ability to talk, but the God may not have gifted the villagers with that much of extraordinary communication skill. They have wisdom, but they may not be able to communicate with you their wisdom. So talk to them, understand. Probably you will also realize that they also have a purpose of life. They can help you in understanding your purpose of life. You can help them in realizing their purpose of life. So this is what I call a symbiotic relationship. A symbiotic relationship will emerge between you and the villagers. Now there are many people in villages who have just slightly less than what is required to start their journey. They might be having resources, but those resources are slightly less than what are required so that they can start their journey. Now these people can be helped by people like you. You can build up their confidence so that they are able to again focus on their goal and start the work that they are doing. Once they will realize that what they are doing is really important, they will be able to focus on it and achieve it, and they will be able to lead a far superior life than what they were leading earlier. So this will be your contribution. I'll clarify my point here by giving an example. You go to a village, suppose, for example, you find a villager who is still using organic agriculture. He is trying different old methods that were being used for organic agriculture. Now you take your time and give him due importance. You make him realize that he is making a good contribution. He will feel happy because some outsider is coming to appreciate him. He might be having some weaknesses also, which he would not be able to see. This is what happens. We are not able to see our weaknesses. Somebody looks at them from outsiders, from different vision, different perspective. He can tell us better that this is the weakness. There may be some social customs, there may be some rituals, there may be some belief systems which may not be appropriate. The villagers may not be able to understand that that is not appropriate. But if you will clarify them, guide them, understand them, listen them, and then share with them your perspective, they will be able to remove their negative perspectives, they will be able to remove their negative habits, and they will be able to transform their life also. The moment each of us is able to understand our purpose, to understand what we should do, and we get committed to that goal with 100% zeal, with 100% motivation, and we find that somebody is there who is really able to show confidence on what we are doing, we get a feeling of approval. And we are able to refocus ourselves, we are able to put in extraordinary efforts for that. This is a very important role which each of us can play, and thereby we can help others in achieving their success, and we can achieve greater happiness in our own life. Thank you all.